Clutch by Country Cow Designs. It's a crossbody. I think there's an option also to make it a wristlet, which I was going to do. And then after I got going, I thought, I think I like the crossbody. So I made it out of all the same fabric. You've got a magnetic snap here. I added my tag. On the back, you've got 2 D-rings that hold your wristlet, your crossbody strap. And on the inside, you have 2 slip pockets, a middle section, another slip pocket, a zipper pocket, and 12 credit card slots. And a section for your phone. Now there is a little hole here, so just be aware something tiny would probably slip through. I'd use the slip pockets or the zipper pocket for that. But that's what we're making. The Lemonza Clutch by Country Cow. Go get the pattern, let's get started. Hi everyone, this is Barbie with Jeannie's Designs. I'm getting ready to do a new pattern to me. It's the Lemonza Clutch by Country Cow Designs. Let me see if it says when it was released. It doesn't. Oh yes. No? It doesn't say a date. So, but it's a nice little clutch. You can make it either into a wristlet or a crossbody. And I'm going to do a wristlet. You know, I'm into the wristlets right now for some reason. I make so many crossbodies that I thought, you know, let's make a few wristlets. So let's get started. Let me show you my hardware first. I'm using some black zipper tape with silver teeth, and I'm using 3/4 inch hardware. Let me just put a little clip on here. So I've got a 3/4 inch D-ring, a 3/4 inch swivel clasp. I've got one number 5 zipper pull. And then I'm going to try one of these. I've never used one of these. These are those little edged magnetic snaps. I only have them in silver, and I think I have two of them. I've never tried them, so this is a great bag to try it on. I may need a little, because I'm using cotton, you'll see that here in a minute, I may need a little extra foam or something. We'll see. So that's all my hardware. My pieces, I'm doing it out of all of it out of the same fabric, inside and out. I got a kind of kick. I love this fabric. So this, and I got to get some better scissors over here. This is the zipper facing. So I will put a little zipper hole on the back there. These are the wings. So this is the fabric I'm using. 2 of these are mirrored. So I have 2 one way and 2 the other way. So 4 pieces, 2 mirrored. 2 of them have woven interfacing on them and 2 of them don't. That's piece D, the wings. Piece M is the flap. And on both of those pieces, I have woven interfacing. And one of them I have deck of a light outside of the seam allowance. But there's the fabric. Isn't it gorgeous? I've had it forever. I just thought, God, I got to start using some of this. Piece A is the main panel. Both of those pieces have woven interfacing on all the way around. Piece C is the front slip pocket. And it has interfacing outside of the seams on the side. There are 2 of those. So 2 of those. I just realized I need to iron that. That's all right. Piece K is 2 pieces of Peltex Ultra Firm Stabilizer, which I love that they give the pieces for these. Piece H is a zipper pocket. I have 2 of those, and those are not interfaced at all. Piece F is the main lining panel, and those are woven interfacing out of the seam allowance for both. I know it's kind of boring that I'm using the same fabric, but. And then piece E and J are side accents and overlays. The overlays do have interfacing on them. Piece I1 is the card slots, and there are 2 of those, and the interfacing is outside the seams on both of those. Then I am using vinyl for my wrist strap. So I have 1 piece, and I'm going to make it 3/4, so it's 3 inches. And then I do have a D-ring connector, which is going to be 1.5 inches, and I'll fill that in. Then you need, piece L is your overlay stabilizers, 2 pieces of Peltex. And then piece N1 and 2 is a strap stabilizer. I'm not using that since I'm using vinyl. And that's it. So there's several pieces, but I think I actually did read through the whole pattern this time. I know, it's shocking. I usually don't. I'm terrible at that. My dad would be so upset with me for not reading ahead. So let's get started. I am using my Bernina today because I'm using all cotton. I don't think I'll have any issues with the Peltex, but if I do, I can just slide on over to my either my Thor or my Fabricator to do those. So let's get started. All right, so now take your flap. We finished our wristlet. It looks really good. Nice 3/4 inch wristlet, no raw seams. So that's done. Now take your 2 flat pieces, and because I'm using this magnetic snap, the edge magnetic snap, I don't put that on until after. If you're using a regular magnetic snap, put it here where she tells you to. And now we're going to sew just around the sides and the bottom, following our Decaville. We're leaving the top open because we got to turn it. And I kind of went off here, so I got to fix that. There we go. All right, I'm going to trim this. If you have pinking shears, she suggests that, or you can just clip your corners, whichever you prefer. I'm just trimming it. I'm gonna put my trash can over here. All right, let's turn it right side out. And then I will take it over and iron it. I feel handicapped because my finger is still a little bit sore. Doesn't stop me though. Doesn't stop me. Okay, just get that pushed out good, and then if you're using cotton, and she recommends cotton for this, so I'm just gonna go over and iron that real quick. All right, so I pressed that, looks really good, and I don't know which I like better. I think I like this side better for the front. At this point, it doesn't matter, but now I'm gonna just top stitch only the sides. You can't even see it. I really need more light over here for you guys. I'm sorry. I don't really have good light over here. I could move one of my other lights. I may do that. But all right, let me move a light over here. Hold on. All right, I need to add some extra stabilizer down here for my magnetic snap. So I'm just using 2 pieces of Lux Fuse that I'm going to put down in the center here. I think she uses foam, but I decided to try this. I've never done this, so we're going to see. Yeah, that's not quite enough. It's still too loose. So you know what I think I'm going to do? I have some self-adhesive foam over here. I'm going to cut a piece of that. And I'm going to stick it to one of my, because this is one of Theratex self-adhesive, is very sticky. I'm going to stick it to one of my Lux Fuse pieces. So I'm going to try that and see. It's kind of a, for me, it's kind of trial and error because I've never done it before. Let's see if that is enough. Oh yeah, that's perfect actually. Actually, I think it could use this piece. So I'm going to put just a little piece of double-sided tape just to keep that in place. Big trial and error here. These are pretty thick. I don't know if you can see. See how wide they are in the center there? So you need it, you got to give it something to grab onto and for you to screw into. So that's what I'm doing. All right, let's try that again. We'll see how these go. I only bought them. I bought them a long time ago, actually. Just trying to get it centered in there. There we go. Let me take this tape off. Oh yeah, that's good. All right, now we just want to make sure it's centered. So let me just see. Pretty good. Needs to go just a hair that way. Perfect. All right, now there are 2 screws that come with this. And I have my little screwdriver here. Oh, I knew that was going to happen. Okay, hold please. All right, I found it. And I put the one in already. Isn't that pretty? I think I like it. All right, let's get rid of some of this trash. All right, so that's the other part of my, I better put that in there or I'm gonna lose it. All right. So now, let me see what's next. All right. So let me get my stuff. All right, so your 2 overlay pieces, and I had Peltex down the center. And I did just put some double-sided tape. I think she just clips them, which is fine. And then we're gonna sew those top stitch. You know, double-sided tape doesn't really like cotton quilting. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed that. It doesn't want to come off it. I know. It's a bit painful. It does eventually, but okay, we're just gonna fold that into the center, and there is a raw edge in here, so don't worry about that. Okay, so that's what you should have. We're just gonna repeat that over here. And then you're top stitching at 1/4 inch, because when you put it where it belongs, you're going to top stitch at 1/8 of an inch. So that is an important measurement. All right, let's do it. I'm so not used to my measurement guides on this machine, because I use my other 2 machines almost exclusively. Not that I don't use this, but all right, I'm just going to chain stitch too. Okay, we'll go down the other side. This Bernina is a beautiful machine, though. And it's flashing to tell me I'm getting low on bobbin. That's another beautiful thing about this. It really flashes pretty early, so I have plenty for a little bit, but I didn't have a full bobbin when I started, so I'm not surprised it's alerting me. All right. Oh, I was going to move light over here. I don't have any lights that are easy to move, so I decided not to do it. So, all right, so set one of these aside for now, and now we're going to measure in with a marking that you can remove. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to see this. I might have to use chalk. Let's see what she tells you to in the pattern. Yeah, I can't. You see that? Let me go get a chalk pen. Hold on. All right. right, so take one of your exterior main panels, and remember this is the top. The rounded edge is the top. I know it feels weird. I don't know what that is. And mark 2 lines like she tells you to in the pattern. And then we're gonna lay this piece on the top line, and I centered my flap and I centered my line. We're gonna lay it on the second line, centered. Just like that, I think. Let me just verify, hold on. Yeah, so I did put a piece of double-sided tape here if I can get it, my paper to come off because it's on cotton. And it's the top line, so you wanna put this on the top line with your magnet face up, right on that top line centered. And then we're gonna sew that in place or baste it. So just like that. And then we're going to take this piece, and I am going to put another piece of double-sided tape there. Probably not necessary, but right down the middle. So it'll stay where I want it as I'm sewing. And we're going to lay that right on that top line and the bottom line. Don't forget that you've marked on both sides of this piece what she tells you to in the pattern on both ends. You can hardly see it because it's chalk. I know. So, and now we are going to, you know, I'm gonna take off some of this. And I'll use it just to my line. I'm just going to take it off to my first line. Because this is where we're adding our D-rings. We need 2 D-rings. I don't know why I only got 1. But we need 2. Let me get 2. So I'm just realizing this is really a crossbody bag. So I probably will go make a crossbody strap. And we're just going to lay that on those lines. And we're going to sew from these 2 inner lines. We're going to make a box. Don't sew the ends because we still have to do our, add our D-rings. So from that first line to the first line. So far my machine's not having any issues with this, so. Okay, and come back down. And I'm not going to use my needle cutter. It's just really too thick there. You got to be a little. Okay, that looks really good. I don't know if you can see the black on black. All right, now you're going to add a D-ring. And we're going to do another box. on that side and this side. And interesting enough, she's left all the heavy duty interfacing outside of seam allowance, which is very helpful. All right, so we're going to do a little box here where that second line is. So start there and around, and same over here. You know what? I'm going to put my narrow foot on. I might actually use my zipper foot. Yeah. There's some gum on my needle. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Let me clear that. Same thing. Just gonna go backwards. Okay, I just did a couple extra stitches on the straight edge just to give it a little more security, and then I am going to put some rivets there between my stitching. Okay, let's do this one. Oh, I thought my needle came unthreaded, but it did not. Perfect, okay. I'm just gonna go backwards. It's too hard on my machine to go forwards with the D-ring. It's all right. Okay, then I'm gonna go another row here. Okay. Beautiful. Now, if it's not perfect, if you're using a, I mean, you can't even really, on mine, you can't even see those threads. Now, I'm using cotton, so I really shouldn't, I'm using cotton thread, not polyester, so I really shouldn't burn it. All right, let me go get some more rivets. All right, so I added my Peltex before I added my rivets because that gives it something to bite into. So I put a rivet on each side of my D-ring outside of those seams so I didn't disturb my seams. And now we're going to stitch this up. Let me just see what the seam allowance is. I've got so much stuff over here. Let me see. It doesn't really matter. So you're just gonna stitch your seam here. I'm gonna put my other foot back on. You know what? And I'm gonna put my, let me grab my other foot. All right, I put my narrow foot on, 97D. And we're just going to stitch that You guys, I'm just laughing at myself because I'm just not set up over here. I'm set up to do like draperies and stuff, but not bag making. And this is fine, but it's just, I'm laughing at myself because those two stations over there, my industrials, are all set up for bag making. Not over here. So I'm just laughing. And I'm not going to do it because I won't be using this Bernina for bag making very often. Not very often. Okay. All right. Now that is complete. Isn't that pretty? All right, next step. All right. So the next step is to insert the rest of our magnetic snap. So the other thing that I love about her patterns, and I'm trying not going to show you too much of the pattern, she tells you what materials you need for each step. I love that. Love that. All right, so then she tells you to measure down. She gives you a calculation on your front slip pocket. Measure down a certain distance. Oh, you know what I just realized? Yeah, no, it's okay. And I'm using 2 pieces of Luxe Fuse. And I don't have my hammer over here. So, let's see. Oh, I can do it. Okay, good. Perfect. And now I am going to use another piece of Luxe Fuse just to cover that. And I'll use a piece of double-sided tape. Okay. Beautiful. All right. Now we want to take our other front slip pocket piece. And I gotta go iron the sides of this. Okay. Hold on. She gives a seam allowance in every step. I love it. All right, here we go. But it's at the top, so it's in a different place than I'm used to. I like it though. Okay. Now, we're going to turn these wrong sides together. And she talks about doing just a little lip to show the lining, but mine are the same. I'm still going to do a little bit of a lip. And I'll go iron that. All right, so now I pressed that. We're going to sew, just top stitch that top edge. I better do a new bobbin here any minute. It's going to run out. Okay, beautiful. Now we are going to, remember the curved edge is the top. So we're going to lay that slip pocket right on the top of that. And you're gonna clip that together just on this top edge. And then we're gonna pull this piece back and we're gonna sew a seam allowance there, and I'm just gonna mark it. There's a method to her madness. So we're just gonna sew along that line. Okay. Then, oh, these are sticking to my scissors. Then we're gonna trim that seam right there. She's reducing the bulk. I love it. I love how some designers do their stuff. I mean, it's just pretty amazing. Okay, now we're gonna stitch down each side. So that's what you should have. Let me see if I can get by with my bobbin here. Nope. Did you see that? You probably can't see it. Bobbin's empty. All right, let me get a new bobbin. All right, so I finished that after I got a new bobbin. Just stitching down both sides, and now you have a nice slip pocket. Then I added my Peltex to the back, and we're going to do the same thing we did with the front piece. We're gonna flip that up and top stitch. All right, so the next step is to take one of your main panel lining pieces, and attach your zipper pocket to that. Not your zipper pocket, your zipper facing. And we're just gonna do that like any other zipper facing. Stitch the box. All right, so here's my facing, my main lining piece. I just ironed that to the back. Now we're taking one zipper lining with our zipper, closing to the left, and we're just gonna baste that in place. I probably have to change my foot again because this foot won't work for zippers really. We'll see. Okay, now we're gonna lay and fold that back. Actually, I think I should have done a bigger seam allowance. Yeah, let me change my foot. I'll put my zipper foot on. That'll be good. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I should have done a little bigger seam allowance there. Yeah. That's all right. Yeah. A little bigger. Because we're going to fold that back. Y'all. Better. So we're going to fold that back. And I'm just going to hand press it for the moment. And then we're going to add our other side of our zipper pocket. And do the same thing. And I'm just going to make sure my sides are matching up. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Now I am going to go iron those so they're nice and flat, just like that. So your inside should be on the inside. This is the wrong side of my zipper. So just like that. Let me go. All right, so this is your zipper pocket. I just put some double-sided tape on either side. Now you're going to take your main lining piece and you're going to add that. And I just am going to do it one at a time, just so I make sure I get it nice and even on my pocket here. You can adjust it if need be. And then take the tape off the other side and attach that. And then we're going to leave that zipper pocket splayed open. And we're going to stitch all the way around. All right, now you're going to pull your pocket down and clip that together. They're not going to match, and that's okay. So you're going to turn that over and stitch down each side. So you are closing the bottom, so I didn't mention that. Okay, beautiful. Now I am going to cut off my excess zipper on both sides, and then I'll burn that. And I am going to trim my pocket down here. Okay. So that's what you have. Isn't that cute? You got a little zipper pocket. Those pieces are not lined, by the way. I am going to trim this. Well, I don't think it matters. I honestly do not think it matters. Okay, next step. Let me have a sip of coffee. All right, so the next step is to take your wings. You should have 4 sets of wing. I think I said we only needed 4 in the beginning, but we need 8. You need 4 linings, which are mirrored, no interfacing. You need 4 exterior, which are mirrored, interfacing. And the interfacing goes along not the curved, but the slanted edge. Now we're going to sew those together at the seam allowance in the pattern, leaving the straight edge open. I've got a bunch of stuff over here. It's hitting my machine. That's funny. Okay. Now, with each one, you're going to trim the corners pretty good. And turn them right side out, and then we will need to go iron each one. But I'm doing one all the way so you can see it, and I'll do the other 3 on fast forward. And if you need it to use a little poking tool, which I might need, just poke out your corners really good. So let me go iron that, and we'll finish this one, then I'll do the other 3. All right, so here's my first wing. We're gonna top stitch the top, the open side edge, and the bottom. This slanted edge we're leaving top stitched. Yeah, I don't know what's touching my machine over here. It's making a noise. Okay, so that's one of our wings. And that's, we're going to repeat that 3 more times. Okay. This is untop stitched. Yeah, I caught it. All right, we'll do that on fast forward. All right, I already did one of these. I just wanted to see how it would go, and it really goes together very nicely. So this is one of my main panel linings. I have my zipper pocket, I have a slip pocket, and then I have 6 credit card slots on each side, or 3 on each side. Then you added your wings here, your little wings. I guess, no, your side panels is what it's called. So there's that. So I'm going to repeat it for the other side. So here's my credit card piece. So on each short end, measure up and iron that flat. So up here and down here. And then you're going to alternate and fold it just like she tells you in the pattern until you have some nice straight card slots. And if they're not perfect, then, you know, clip them in place, because you're not going to sew those together yet. Those look pretty good. Okay. Now you want to take off, and you're going to measure over what she tells you in the pattern, and we're going to divide these card slots in half. Now I am going to lift that top part up because that's our slip pocket. Okay, so lift that up and we're gonna just stitch down the line that we just made. Backspacing quite a bit. It's card slots, you know? Okay. And then she does not top stitch, and I always top stitch. I'm gonna try it without top stitching. I've never not top stitched my card slot, so I just wanna see how it goes. She doesn't do it, which I think is interesting. I've always, every pattern I've done, you top stitch your card slots, but she didn't do it, so I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna try and see how it goes without doing it. I like it. Then you're going to take one of your main linings, my remaining one that doesn't have the zipper pocket in it. Just cutting off the extra. And we're going to mark a line from the bottom up, what she tells you in the pattern. And we're going to lay our card slots on that line. And clip. Now we are going to pull that up, and with that bottom that we had folded, we're going to just top stitch that. Not really top stitch, but we're going to sew that together at the seam allowance in the pattern, which is small. Oh, I keep going over here to reverse. Very bad. Okay, so we've created, actually what we've done is create that slip pocket. Now we're just going to sew down the sides and across the bottom, just basting that in place. That'll secure our card slots too. Ugh. Okay. So now on this one, you have a slip pocket and you have 3 credit card slots. Let me do a little cleanup here. Let me go get a credit card because I don't have one over here. All right, so far these are good, but we got to put our wings on. And I tested these, the finished side, and they're perfect. They're not loose, which I love. They're perfect. All right, now we're going to add our wings to this piece. Not our wings. It's really called a side panel. There's no interfacing on this. She's doing it to keep your sides so they're not too thick. I know that. And I don't like it. It feels weird. All right, now we're going to sew that together at the seam allowance in the pattern. And then we'll fold that over and top stitch on our side panel. You can iron it if you need to, but there's no interfacing, so it really doesn't need it. We're getting so close to being done. It really comes together pretty quickly. I'm actually a little surprised. I should be. Country Cow Designs has great patterns. Okay. All right, let's test our slots. Perfect, perfect. And they go down just perfect. Look at that. And then you have another slip pocket over here. I love it. All right. Let me just do a little bit of cleanup here. Sorry, my husband's out there watching TV. Kind of noisy. All right, next step. All right, so take your piece A, and there's a dotted line down here. Fold that up and shape from the bottom your lining pieces. They should be pretty good, but I had to trim some off the top and just a hair on the sides. I need to do just a little there. Yeah. On both pieces, okay? From the bottom up and round your tops, just like that. So that's what you have now. It's just a really cute pattern. All right, so now we're gonna take our wings and we're gonna attach those, pardon me, on each side of the panel. So she has you measure up on the bottom of each of these panels, and you want your raw edges obviously to be on the raw edge side. I was trying to find my mark. Kind of hard to see. I probably should have used gold hardware. I didn't even think about that till just now because there's gold flecks in here. So now I have my wings clipped on both sides, and we're going to base those in place on both lining panels. So that's what you should have. 2 lining pieces with wings attached. All right, so now we're going to put those 2 lining pieces together on the bottom. So remember, the rounded top edges are the top. So we're going to sew that together at the seam allowance in the pattern. And then we'll press that open and top stitch on each side of that. Okay, so I'll go over to my iron and press this open, and then we'll top stitch on the front. All right, so I pressed that bottom seam open, and from this side, I'm gonna top stitch on either side. I'm just going to turn it. And come down the other side. Okay. So now your two lining pieces are one piece. Grab my tweezers. There's a little something here. There we go. This would probably be a good time to take a minute. If there's any cleanup that needs to happen, like there's a little bit of threads on my card slots, to do that. Actually, there was just that one little one. All right, next step. All right, now we're ready for final assembly. So take this remaining overlay, and this is weird. So it's right, but just keep in mind this doesn't feel right. So this is the raw edge here in the center where my two seams meet. We're gonna lay that right sides up with the seam. I gotta get some Wonder Clips. So that center is the center with the seam on our lining pieces. Okay, and now we're just gonna stitch those and stitch that in place along the edge. On both sides. All right, so now here's our two lining pieces, and here's our two exterior pieces. So on my lining piece with no zipper pocket, I have the slip pocket piece on this side. Let me take it off and show you. So here's my slip pocket piece. And she says it doesn't really matter. You can do whatever you want. This is just what she suggests. So I have my slip pocket piece with my magnetic snap on this side. So I'm clipping that together. And then I'll show you the other piece. And these two pieces should butt up right next to each other. So on this side, let me show you, is my zipper pocket piece with my card slots. Let's see. Zipper pocket, card slots. Here's my front flap, and I'm just tucking that in to get it out of the way, and then we are going to clip these sides as well. And then we're going to turn it, we're going to stitch around next to the Peltex, and then turn it right side out through this hole right here. It's amazing. You can start anywhere you like. I'm going to start, I think, over here. And because I'm using cotton thread, I'm going to back stitch over these two connections here and here 3 times. Go forward, backwards, and then go forward again. Yeah, I got to move my ironing board out of the way without knocking it on the floor. And I did decrease my stitch length to about a 2.5 since I'm using cotton thread. I'm not stitching on my Peltex, I'm stitching right next to it. And if you don't get a good curve, we can go back over those. So don't, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to. Okay, I'm going back over this side a little bit. Pretty thick right here. I'm going to turn that down. It's really thick right here by my grommets, so I might have to put my zipper foot on. Let me do that. Yeah. Put your zipper foot on. And actually, I could do this on my industrial, but I'm not going to switch now. I always have to look at what number foot this is. Okay. All right. Much better. Perfect. Okay. That's going to be a lot better. So I think I'm going to go around one more time now that I have my zipper foot on and get just a little better curves. Yeah. Oh gosh, much better. It doesn't really hurt to go over this twice anyway. Especially with my thread, cotton. Probably not necessary if you're using industrial thread, 45 or Tech 70. Okay. Whoop. Kind of went off the rails there. That's all right. Okay. Much better. Now, I think I will go grab my pinking shears and just do the pinking on this, just to get a nice curve. So hold on. All right, I grabbed my pinking shears. I'm just gonna trim that. It's kind of thick on some of these sides, so just keep that in mind. Because your card slots. It's quite messy. Pinking shears are very messy. You know, pinking shears are not designed to go through more than 2 or 3 layers of cotton. They're just not designed for that. So don't think that your pinking shears are dull, because they're not going to do it. They're not designed for that level of thickness. Okay. All right, let's turn this inside out. It's going to be stiff with this Peltex. That's why you really need to top stitch those sides. We're going to top stitch the whole thing, but just take your time. Don't try and overdo it, because it will tear those sides. Now, if I may want to go back, if I have issues with this, I may go back and do my top stitching with my industrial. I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. That really wasn't too bad, though. Look at that. All right, let's turn this other side, right side out. Not too bad. I thought it would be worse, but it's not. Peltex is very heavy interfacing. It's heavier than Deckerville Heavy, I think. Oh, I missed something right there. That's not good. Okay. I'm going to have to put that back in and go back over that. Let me see what happened here. Okay. No harm done. Let's go back over that. Always look at all your corners and your seams. You never know when something's been missed or didn't catch. Yeah, much better. All right. Okay. Oh my goodness. This still stumps me. This raw edge thing right here stumps me. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. Let's see how this goes. Oh my. Okay, next step. All right, so then I came over to my fabricator. It's going to be much easier to do this thick stuff over here. So the first thing we want to do, which is very interesting, is move this piece to the outside. I knew there had to be a way we were going to move that. So we're just going to get that around our outside piece and just squish it in there so it's on the outside. You might have to move your clips. Okay. God. Isn't that just perfect? Yeah. Look at that. All right, now I'm going to re-clip. Got a little thread there. I'm going to re-clip these 2 wings pieces. So you're clipping your wings inside. So I've clipped my wings inside. I haven't sewn them or anything. I've just clipped them. And then I moved this overlay to the outside. I've got some fabric glue. And now I'm just gonna put a little bit on the inside of my lining piece and press that down so it stays while I'm sewing everything together on both sides. So I'm going to lift that up just on the edge and put a little glue there and press that down. Beautiful. Now, on the inside of this overlay, we're also going to be putting just a little bit of glue so that it stays, because we're going to top stitch that. Something else. This is something else. I've learned something new with this pattern. I love that. All right. And now we're going to sew that at 1/8 of an inch together. I got black thread in here too, so. And I am, because I think my sides, I'm just gonna, well, it'll get done when I do my outside stitch, so I'm not gonna worry about it. Yeah. See how the fabricator just went glided through that? My Bernina would have had trouble with that. And that's okay, she's not meant for that. I'm sorry, little Bernina. You're not an industrial machine, and that's okay. Now let's top stitch down the other side. 1/8 of an inch. Beautiful. We're almost done. I got to do a crossbody strap. I think what I may do is do some webbing instead of any vinyl or anything. Okay. That looks good. So now you've closed off that hole that was in the middle, and you've got an overlay on the outside. Love it. All right, next step. All right, so if you need to, go ahead and do a good press. I did a little bit of a press. Now I'm gonna start on my sides over here. And I'm gonna do it, let me try and see. I'm gonna do it from the outside. That's gonna be the what's gonna be seen. All right, so the next step is to put your outsides, right sides together, and we're clipping our wings together. And again, this is something that I think is important to do because these are under a lot of stress, these little wings, to do with some industrial thread. It's not a requirement, but I think it would really help. And these bottoms are going to be a challenge because they're very close. I think I'm going to start from the bottom, actually. Yeah. The back of my foot is just hitting the metal, so don't worry about that. Makes a terrible noise. Okay, let's see how we did. I think we did pretty good. I would highly suggest you start from the bottom, though. Yeah. Okay, so there's one. And let's start from the bottom over here. It's a challenge to get it under there. It's all right. I like challenges. Yeah, let's see how we did. I think it did okay, actually. Let me see. Yeah, I might go over that one more time. Maybe I'll do this. There we go. Yeah, if you have to go over it, just make sure your threads, it's on the bottom, so it's not going to be visible, but make sure your threads match. Yeah, nobody's ever going to be able to see that. I love that. All right. Beautiful. All right, now we got to just turn it right side out. Just poke it out. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, guys. This is so cute. I honestly, I'll be honest, I was a little skeptical. Now I'll go do a crossbody snap. Oh man. All right, let me do a crossbody. All right, guys, here it is. Here is the Lemonza Clutch by Country Cow Designs. Now, I did it out of all the same fabric, inside and out. These magnetic snaps are not very strong, I will say that. Are they okay for this? Probably. Yeah, they're probably okay. I mean, they don't hold very well. Maybe it's just these. I don't know. Yeah. So I did make a wristlet strap, you saw. Not a wristlet strap, a crossbody strap. And those connect back here. When you open the top, there's a nice slip pocket here, which would be perfect for a phone. And then in here, there's a slip pocket on each side, a zipper pocket on the back, which is a good size zipper pocket. And then in the middle, there's plenty of room. And you have 6 credit card slots on each side, 12 total. Now, there is a little hole here. Let me see a little thread here. Oh, I don't know where it went now. There is a little hole here. So you know, is that big enough for a pen to go through? Probably. Yeah, probably a pen would go through that or something. So if I was going to use that, I would not put anything that would slip out. But there's your little wings on each side. Absolutely adorable. I would use, personally, I would use a regular magnetic snap. But there it is. I mean, it is so cute. Let me put it on for you. She calls it an intermediate pattern. You know, yeah, it probably is. You know, it's a very cute bag. I have a little cleanup to do. I see a few threads. So there it is. The Lemonza by Country Cow Designs. I would give it a try. And I love this fabric. This is all cotton. So I used cotton. I used Woven Fuse 2 for all my cotton pieces outside the seam allowance. I used the interfacing just as she suggests, exactly. As I didn't deviate from it at all. Other than, I don't think I would use one of these. They're not strong enough, I don't think, personally. Maybe they are. I don't know. There you go. I forgot to put my tag on it. Not a big deal. I actually could put my tag there. Maybe I'll do that real quick and I'll come back and show you. There you go. Now, can you see that? It's black on black. You can't hardly even see it. So if you're going to add a tag after the fact, just match your threads. There you go. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate ya. Be sure to click like, subscribe, and comment, and feel free and share. Bye-bye.